Hello, my name is Teresa, and I would like to share with you a continuing sharing of my testimony of the process of healing and deliverance from mental illness of schizophrenia of defective disorder, affective disorder. When I was in North Carolina, I had a mental breakdown. I literally felt as if something was coming off my brain, and it was of a slimy texture. I could feel it with my tongue. And from my right side, I felt a demonic spirit attach itself to my head, and that slimy texture broke. It was a continuous substance, but then it broke. That's the best way I can explain it. And I felt my head was very heavy, and I remember hearing a voice said, "Oh, my head is very heavy." And I continued to go home, and for 10 days I was in a hallucinate state, meaning I heard voices, I saw things that other people couldn't see or hear, and I felt things that other people couldn't feel. I was out of my mind. I really was out of my mind. And so during that time, they made me believe, the voices made me believe that they were God. I was a baby Christian. I just gave my life to Christ before this happened. And I really wanted to hear from God. I really wanted to know God for myself. And so the voices said that they were God and that I was to do everything they said to do. And I did. I did everything they said to do during the 10 days that I thought I was locked up in my house, but it was just the voices telling me to stay put and to stay in my house. I didn't have electricity. I didn't have cable. I didn't have TV. I didn't have a telephone. And I remember it was winter. It was the winter time. So whatever they showed me, I did. Whatever they said to do, I did. It was hard. It was very hard. And finally, a friend of mine came and said that the Lord impressed it upon her to come see me. And that's what made me one of the reasons why I came to. Another reason was that my ex-husband came and he wanted to check up on our daughter because she had missed school for 10 days. And she was a young girl at the time, a little girl at the time. I didn't harm her. I didn't hurt her. She was safe. But she knew something was wrong with mommy. And so he came to check up on her to see why she missed so many days of school. And that also snapped me out of my hallucinogen state. So the next day, I combed her hair and I got her ready and I sent her to school. I dropped her off at school and I went to my friend who was looking for me. I went and told her that there's something wrong with me. I hear voices and I feel things that aren't there, that nobody else feels and nobody else sees or hears. And so she was like, "Have you been taking drugs?" And I said, "No, I don't do drugs." "Have you been somewhere where someone could have slipped a drug in your drink or something?" I said, "No." So she took me to the VA hospital in Raleigh, Durham. And there they admitted me. They asked me if I wanted to be admitted, and they admitted me, and I was there for almost 3 months. It was a very scary time in my life. I felt very lonely and alone and isolated. And I was scared. I was scared. I really was scared. And the voices still continued. The feelings of if bugs were crawling on my skin continued. And I felt alone. I felt scared. And one day I remember I was sitting next to the telephone, the payphone, waiting for my friend to call. And I was crying out to God. I was like, "God, I need you. What's wrong with me? What's going on with me?" And somehow or another, he let me know that there were demonic spirits that were harassing me, that were tormenting me. And ever since he revealed that to me, I realized that the only one who could help me is the Lord Jesus Christ. And so I stayed at that hospital at the VA in Raleigh, Durham for almost 3 months, like I said. And then my parents came and got me. You see, I've been away for over 13 years. I was in the armed forces for 13 years, and I've been away for that long. And I really didn't communicate with my family that much. But my friend who took me to the VA contacted my parents, and they flew over and they came and they brought me, and they picked me up and they brought me back to Phoenix, Arizona. And so when I came to Phoenix, Arizona, I realized that I have demons and that I needed help. I needed someone to help me, and that the only help that I could get against the demonic spirits was the Lord Jesus Christ. So I started going to churches. I started asking different churches if they cast out demons out of Christians, and they would tell me Christians can't have demons. And I looked at them kind of odd. I said, yes, they can, because I'm a Christian and I have demons. And they were like, no, they can't have them. I'm like, yes, they can. And well, finally, I went to this one church in downtown Phoenix, and there was a newspaper ad that said, we cast out devils, and it was called New Generation Christian Fellowship Church. And I went to that church that Sunday night, and I remember specifically the preacher was preaching, what's your Pharaoh? And I was sitting there and I was being tormented by the demonic spirits saying, you better not get up. They're going to call you crazy. They're not going to believe you. You better not get up. We're going to torment you. We're going to torture you. And so when she made an altar call, meaning a call to come up to the church, the front of the church, and tell the minister what your Pharaoh is, she came to me and asked me, what is your Pharaoh? And I told her I have demons. And she said to me, welcome. And she gave me a hug. And that is the start of my process of healing and deliverance from schizophrenia affective disorder. So that right there was the start of me getting Christian counseling. But I also saw a psychiatrist. I also took medication, because the Lord revealed to me that I needed both spiritual help and also medical help, physical help. And so that was the process. That's the start of my process of healing and deliverance from schizophrenia affective disorder. And so I'd like to leave you with that. I'll give you a little background how everything started as far as the mental breakdown. And I will continue this next week, and hope you stay tuned. Thank you. Have a blessed day.